I've had many issues with food delivery services. You know, the ones with apps that you place your order on and a driver picks it up from the restaurant, then delivers it straight to the front door of your place of residence. Of all the issues I've had, whether the order was made wrong or mixed up with someone else's, this one was no different. It was almost midnight, and I was once again too lazy to cook, so I ordered some tacos de cabeza from a place nearby that I like. Upon ordering, the time frame of delivery given to me was 20 to 35 minutes. Looking at the time it would take to get here made me even hungrier. After a bit, the notification popped up on my phone that my food had been delivered. A picture was sent of my order sitting outside of my door. The movie which I was watching was nearly over. I contemplated finishing the last 5 minutes but was so hungry I decided to hit pause. 5 minutes left. I got up, walked over to my front door, and retrieved the bag sitting outside. I lifted it up and inspected the bottom as I usually do to see if anything leaked through. Everything looked fine. I brought the bag to my kitchen counter, flicked on the light, opened it, and took out the box with my food in it. When I opened it and saw what was inside, I was pissed. It wasn't my order. Inside were someone else's enchiladas with some weird-looking shit on top of them. I thought about chucking the box in the trash, but then pulled out my phone. I texted the driver through the app and told them that they had messed up the delivery, that I had received someone else's order. For a few minutes I stood there, contemplating eating what was in front of me. I didn't care for enchiladas, but was hungry enough to forget about personal preferences and down the whole meal. Then, almost as if on cue, my phone lit up. It was the driver. "I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I still have your order and can come back to drop it off. If you prefer, you can cancel the order altogether and go through the app's customer service for a full refund. Also, seeing as you have opened the order that you received, you'll have to discard of it. I cannot take it back if the seal is broken on the bag." After reading the message, I thought about canceling and ordering something else. But I thought there was no harm in having them bring me my correct order, even if it was cold. While thinking, I received another message. "Please notify me on your decision. If you do not reply in the next few minutes, then I will cancel the order myself." I replied to the driver and instructed them to drop off my order outside the door just as they had done with the wrong order. Then I thanked them. I received a message back. "Okay, but it might be cold by the time I get there. In this case, if you aren't satisfied, then you will have to go through the app's customer service and refund the order in full." I thought that last message was weird, especially the face at the end. But I figured they were just trying to be friendly. I've honestly seen weirder. Within 5 minutes, I received another one of the automated messages telling me that my order had been dropped off. I headed to the door, opened it, picked up the bag, and inspected it. I saw leakage on the bottom. Of course, when I finally got my order. I should have just refunded the damn thing. I should have just cooked myself. Whatever. It's here now. I didn't even bother checking the temperature before throwing it into the microwave to reheat. I was on the brink of starvation. I hit the timer for 30 seconds and stared at it waiting in anticipation. After about 15 of those seconds, a rancid smell began to fill the air of my small kitchen. I almost vomited. The smell of rotten meat took my hunger away in an instant. I stopped the microwave and took the bag out. I guess I wasn't meant to eat tonight. I could barely breathe with the smell. It smelled worse than any bad meat I ever smelled. I gagged again and prepared myself over the sink, but swallowed my regurgitation. I had to get rid of the food. Before I did though, I wanted to get a picture of what was inside, just to leave a review for future customers, urging them to choose a different place to eat. I held one arm in front of my mouth and under my nose. The other I used to open the paper bag. When I got it open, I choked, then finally vomited. Not from the smell, but what was inside. Looking back at me from inside the bag, with open eyes, was a decomposing human head, severed from the neck with thin strands of hair coming down from the scalp. There was a dark tinted liquid of decay now pooling underneath the bag and spraying across my countertop. It eventually began seeping to the edges and dripping to the floor, joining the pool of vomit I had just made. I felt faint. I could only see red, then darkness. I woke up in my own mess. My head hurt. My vision was foggy until a few minutes later and it began to focus. Then it all came back to me. I stood up and there was no bag on the counter, no severed head, no sign of what had been delivered the night before. I checked my messages from the driver and they were still there. I had a new message and all it said was, "Delivered." The smell was still in the air, though it seemed to have dissipated a bit. I could breathe without retching. The slime-like substance that had leaked through the bottom of the bag had dried and was browning. It stained the cupboards all the way down to the floor where I had lain. It was then I noticed the trail. Like a blood trail, I followed the spattered droplets out of my kitchen to my front door, which was wide open. Someone or something was in my house and seemed to have taken the bag with them. I slowly peered outside of my front door, looking right then left before slamming the door shut and locking it. I found a new restaurant on Uber Eats and caved when the app gave me a coupon code. I ordered from it and fat-fingered the tip, LOL. The delivery person is thinking they'll get $100. But I can't afford this, LOL. Anyone have any idea how to fix this? They'll be here in 15 minutes. Edit. So I looked up the restaurant to call them and it turns out I can't find it. It's probably a ghost kitchen, as one of you pointed out, that doesn't have any physical stores. I'm just going to cancel the order. Everything pizza sounds tasty, but not a tenth of paycheck tasty. Sorry. Edit. Well, I just had an experience. Delivery person still came. I turned the lights out and pretended I wasn't there, but he just kept ringing the bell and the dog started barking, so I finally opened the door. He was kind of scruffy, but I can't judge because I know food delivery is tough. I told him I canceled the order and he can eat my dinner for all I care, but he didn't even shake his head. He just kept saying everything will be okay until I took the box from his hands. I felt kind of bad, so I tried to give him a $10 bill, but he didn't even move. I just took the box and closed the door. And he's still out there in lieu. Edit. Delivery person finally left. Sorry to worry some of you guys. I don't need to call the cops though, just cause someone's so damn weird. To know how he delivers meals on time though, cause he's so slow. Hygiene kind of bad too. I looked on Ring and when he was walking away I saw some wax come out his ER. So gross, but I've seen worse in college, so I'll live. I'm more pissed that there's a half-eaten slice in my pizza. Free is free, but come on. At least eat the whole slice if you're gonna eat something. That's even more gross. Edit. No, I'm not going to post a picture of this pizza. I'm hungry and I just want to eat. Edit. There's weird shit on this pizza. Are anchovies supposed to move? Ate a slice, a couple slices, but not eating those fish. They're definitely raw and look slimier than usual. Gonna go to sleep now. Pizza is a 3/10, but it's free, so we take these. This is the final update. Edit. Just woke up. Stomach feels fine, but my ear feels weird. Maybe make it a February 10th. Sorry I said it was the final update, but I thought I'd be asleep and not up at 3 a.m. LOL. Was hungry again. Yes, I know. I'm a big eater, and opened up the pizza box, but it looks like some of the toppings are gone. And the anchovies are on the floor? I looked around and some were even in my bedroom, LOL. Wonder if my dog got to it. If he can open and close pizza boxes, I got to post that to Reddit. Edit. My ear still feels kind of weird. Kind of buzzy? My stomach hurts too, but maybe from stress. A commenter mentioned that sometimes ears get clogged from wax, but I kind of feel a weird wet sensation in there. I'll check it out later. Sorry for treating this like a personal blog. ITT, Free Pizza and OP complains about their health anxiety. Mods remove this if this TMI. Edit. Ear still feels weird. Like really weird. My dog started barking at me too. I can't sleep. Edit. To know what's up, but it's def not wax. Pain is getting more. Edit. 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 Everything feels better now. Edit. 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 Everything will be okay. Before my cardiac arrest, I was a bad person, a really bad person. I stole, cheated, and hurt many people. There are dozens of innocents I traumatized for a lifetime. My near-death experience changed me for the better, but it didn't change the past. I can't recall much from when I died. It's like looking at a fish just below the surface. You can't clearly make it out, but you can see the outline, and if you look just right, you'll see it all, even if just for a moment. There was fire and brimstone, and an entity cloaked in shadows whispering words I couldn't understand. Those visions have never left me. At the end of my first week in the hospital, I lay in a cold bed pondering my life. As I fell into a disturbed slumber, a loud scratch echoed across the room. A frightened gasp escaped my lips. Just outside the window, a dark figure loomed. It was pawing at the glass with dirty fingers. I slunk halfway underneath my covers. Whirring machines monitoring my vitals beeped quietly. Tap. 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 Its slimy hands slapped the window pane. They slid down, leaving greasy stains. I could feel its hatred re-eating through the reflection. Then it cupped its hands together and peered into the room. I looked on in horror. My face stared back at me. There was one glaring difference. Its eyes were deep pits of black, my blue irises swallowed by the darkness. A crooked smile crossed its face and it disappeared into the night. I didn't sleep a wink that night. At one point, I started screaming uncontrollably. Nurses rushed in and sedated with me a large needle. I saw it again in my dreams, but it was no longer smiling. For 3 months, I remained in the hospital. The rehab was as excruciating and it was monotonous, but eventually, I was back on my feet. Throughout my time at the hospital, there were no other sightings of my ghastly doppelganger. I convinced myself it was all a hallucination. On the first night home, I bought a nice bottle of wine and celebrated with a few glasses. I hadn't touched a drop of alcohol since the accident, so it took almost nothing to get me drunk. Parked in front of the TV, I let the warm glow of inebriation wash over me. You left me all alone down there. A garbled voice awakened me from a drunken slumber. The other me stood in the doorway of my living room. It glared with devious intent. You deserve to suffer with me. This pain is too much to bear. I will drag you into the darkness like the dog we are. It took a ragged step toward me. Ash billowed in its wake. I jumped from the couch and yelled, "You're not real," until my throat became hoarse. Oh, but we are real. If I think, therefore I am. I'm in agony, therefore I am. It responded flatly. I fled into my bedroom and slammed the door shut. After propping a chair against the doorknob, I crumpled into the corner sobbing. You can't hide from yourself. Not for long. Footsteps receded down the hall. I was left alone with my cries. For weeks, I remained locked in my room, only leaving to grab food deliveries from my doorstep. At night, wicked laughter would float through the house, but the other me stayed hidden. By the end of the month, even the laughter disappeared. Once again, I started to believe it was all in my head, the near-death experience having altered my brain chemistry. Sunshine streamed through my blinds and I felt happy again. The fear dissipated like smoke on a windy day. I ventured into the world and felt a semblance of normalcy return. How short-lived that was. I'd called up an old friend, a reformed criminal now involved in youth mentorship. We met at a trendy restaurant just after 7 p.m. and sat in a corner booth. After exchanging pleasantries, he said something that my blood ran cold. By the way, this is the craziest thing. There's a guy sitting on the other side of the restaurant who looks exactly like you. If I hadn't known better, I would have thought it was your twin. What? Who? Point him out for me? My voice trembled. The guy wearing the sunglasses. Right there. I followed his finger. The man waved menacingly as my line of sight met his. A lump grew in my throat. I immediately excused myself and practically ran from the table. My lookalike followed. I bolted into traffic in an attempt to lose him, but to no avail. He was hot on my tail and a foul stench filled the air. Careening into an alley, I ran into a dead end. A barbed wire fence blocked my path forward. I won't go back without you. We will share this eternal torment. I won't go. There's no fucking way. If you're really me, why do you want to see me suffer so badly? You are already suffering. I backed into the fence. My hellish twin advanced. As I looked for a way out, my door brushed against a long, metal pipe left over from a long-abandoned construction project. In a single fluid motion, I bent down, picked up the blunt instrument, and cracked it into his skull. His head exploded in a shower of blood and smoke, and he crumpled to the ground. Flames engulfed him. Smoke twirled in the air, twisting into a rapidly oscillating tornado. My mouth was forced open as the smoke was driven into my gullet. I fell to my knees. Unbearable pain paralyzed me. Every atom in my body felt like it was being pulled apart at the seams. I began to black out, but the agony never dimmed. I awoke in a hospital, strapped to the bed. The pain had gotten worse. I wasn't dead, but I wasn't living either. Eventually, they moved me to a long-term rehab facility, unable to diagnose a specific issue, but I knew I'd never leave. Typing out my story took months. Each keystroke was like a bullet to my fingers. I'd only last a few minutes before passing out from the excruciating pain. I didn't go to hell, but I brought hell to me.